long can we live in a disproportionate world? This is a matter that has bewildered me for some time now. Ordinarily, why would a 14-year-old girl be thinking this, had it not been for the unimaginable incident that happened to my family a few years ago? Now, let's consider the concept of imbalance a bit more, shall we? For instance, did you know that in the 1970s and 1980s, there were an average 480 terrorist attacks in the United States? And in 2000, there were 217 terrorist attacks in the United States. Less of that compared to the 1970s and 1980s. Yet the United States defense budget was nearly double the amount. Studies by IDEA show that the United States spent $5 billion a year trying to protect its citizens from terrorist attacks, whereas secret service agencies such as MI5, MI6, or GCHQ spent £2.4 billion, with a 33% rise in spending over 3 years, according to a report by The Telegraph. It seems that an average British or American person pays $16 or £38 in tax. This is equivalent to 4,560 Kenya shillings, enough to feed an average man for a whole month. They spend these amounts to gain a sense of peace, security, freedom, and well-being. I say a sense of peace and security because when you think about it, the recent attack that happened in the United States nearly caused 3,000 deaths. Yet there are more than 300,000 people dying worldwide of gun crimes. Surely this disproportionate amount spent on gaining a sense of peace and security is far better spent on getting real security, or indeed fighting diseases such as cancer or heart attacks that kill more people in the world than terrorist attacks. When you think about it, people like us who live outside the United States or the United Kingdom also gain a sense of peace and security. They spend considerable amounts trying to stop global-wide terrorism. What's more, our government is more keen on maintaining national security levels. For example, the heightened security screenings at airports may be a nuisance, but it does serve as a positive purpose for reducing such acts to an extent. What's an even more disconcerting contemplation is that a small minority group of terrorists are the reasons why countries such as the United States or the United Kingdom spend such disproportionate amounts. Especially when you compare this to the total number of drug criminals worldwide that cause a far more devastating damage and carnage to people's lives and society. The 9/11 bombings killing 3,000 people, or the 2004 Spain train bombings in Atocha station, killing 191 people and leaving over 2,050 injured. 223 people were killed in the 1998 embassy bombings in Nairobi. And finally, the London 7/7 bombings, killing 52 people and leaving over 700 injured. As crazy and as horrific as those numbers sound, chances of you and me being involved in a terrorist attack before the recent attack that happened in Kenya were 1 in 20 million, whereas compared to dying in a car accident, 1 in 19,000. Now, amongst the people injured in the 7/7 bombings was my aunt Sabna Kimani. She was on her way to work using the underground but was immediately evacuated when the first of the 4 series of bombs was activated. She went to a bus station and to her relief found a colleague. Call it gut feeling or not, but despite her reluctance to climb the upper deck, her colleague managed to do so. Luck was on their side. They found 2 empty seats facing the back window. Only after checking with her boss and when the bus finally started moving did she finally relax. A sudden bright white light and a firecracker noise was all she saw and heard in the next 90 minutes before she gained consciousness on a pavement, with lots of blood lost and pieces of shrapnel sticking out. Now, my aunt does not gamble. And now that she's had to face these unimaginable odds, she'd rather not push her luck beating them twice today. Today she's less worried about her house being burgled. And mind you, there have been 5 burglaries in her neighborhood. Yet she tends to get more anxious when she sees someone holding a backpack in the streets or the bus stations or train stations or even airports where there's maximum amount of security. The sense of peace and security she feels in that billions are being spent to reduce such acts to an extent is profound. And I'm for one glad she feels this way. But the question remains, how long can we live in a disproportionate world? Why is it that terrorism is looked more upon when there are other life-threatening issues such as disease, plague, starvation, accidents, cancer? Why is it that we spend so much money on terrorism when it happens once in a blue moon compared to accidents that happen every single day? Is a person's sense of peace and security far more important than getting real security? This is a puzzle I cannot personally solve. Thank you.